Hi, in this episode, we're going to talk about rsyslog. Now, this is a logging service in Linux responsible for collecting and maintaining log messages. Logging is extremely important because this is the first place you're going to look when something goes wrong. So the different facilities or sources that are actually logging their details includes the kernel itself, where kernel messages are logged. There's certain system logs based on the different services you're running, authentication, the mail service, or anything like that. And then there's specific application logs. This is logging for specific applications like the mail server, cron, and HTTP, application-specific logs. Of course, all of these logs are managed through rsyslog, the actual logging daemon. Now, the configuration file for this daemon can be found in etc rsyslog.conf. And here you will find the directives that this daemon require in order to log messages into specific log files. Now, some other key features you'll find about the rsyslog service is that it is modular, where it supports different protocols such as TCP or UDP. If you have a centralized logging server, you can set it up so that you are able to forward your logs to centralized servers. You also have the flexibility of configuring your logging as you see fit. So in this rsyslog.configuration file, you're the one who get to decide what is being logged and where. In the upcoming lab, we're going to show you more into the rsyslog.conf configuration file so you have an idea of how to interpret different log files, and so you have an idea of where certain system messages will be logged when it comes to that log directory itself. Please join us in this next lab where we discuss about rsyslog. In this episode, we're going to talk about the rsyslog utility. rsyslog is a logging daemon. This is the service that's responsible for collecting and managing log messages. Let's open up the terminal so I can tell you a little bit more about it. The rsyslog utility has its configuration file that explains its behavior and where certain logs are going to be found. So let's go ahead and open that up. I'm going to use VI text editor and open rsyslog.conf. So you can see down here, of course, it's read-only, as you do need root permissions to change certain configuration files. And you can see this is the rsyslog configuration file, and this is the global directives where most of the rules really come from. So let's go down. You can see specific modules are being loaded here. If we scroll down a little bit further, you can set it up to actually receive logs from other servers. So you can set up a centralized logging via UDP or TCP by actually simply removing this comment and running this parameter, and setting the necessary configuration file on the client side to be able to log to this IP address. And this is, again, syslog reception, meaning this can receive logs from other hosts or other servers. Down here is where we see the rules. Pretty much what it's showing us is what facility, like the kernel or other facilities such as authpriv, which is used for authentication, and what priority over here. This is all priorities. And what it's saying is, where are these messages logged? So the first kernel messages are going to be logged right into the console. All right, and we can see that varlog messages is logging everything except for mail, as long as the priority of the message is level information or higher. And of course, private authentication messages will not be logged. So you can see authpriv messages are not going to be logged. Cron messages regarding our cron service will not be logged, but everything else and mail will not be logged. but everything else, star.info, means everything else will be logged in var log messages, a very important log file. We can see the auth.priv file, meaning authentication messages are going to be logged at varlog secure. If you're having a sort of mail server, often you'll have a mail service. So all those messages are going to be logged in varlog mail log. All the cron will be logged in varlog cron. And again, you can see all the other facilities and what logging is being done. All right, so this is the rsyslog configuration file. I'll just quit out of this. And of course, you can see this explains the directives for how the rsyslog service will perform. So that's it for this episode. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.